Guys, just two things before I play this video. Number one, bear in mind, I'm not going to cut it. It is just going to be me talking. I'm not putting any photos in. It's a video that I want your input from. It's a discussion, and that's what it is. Number two, bear in mind, we're in Northamptonshire. We're exactly in the centre of England. There's no better place for what I'm about to discuss for us guys here in the UK. So bear that in mind. Enjoy this video. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Another Falconry episode. This one really, I don't know, it's quite important in so much as it's very different from the other videos. I kind of need you to listen to my usual waffle, but the whole point is there's no point in this video if you're not going to reply. So either comment below, or this will be posted on at least a couple of the Falconry Facebook pages. Put your comments in there. It doesn't really matter because I'll see them anyway. Do we want, can we do another gathering of falconers in the UK, another falconry fair type thing? But let me explain. There are a couple of really good falconry fairs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to copyright their name, you know what I mean, where it's very much about falconry for falconers. Trade stands, falconry displays, talks and so on. But there's also various tag-on falconry, other do's and events, other game type things. I'm hearing a lot of moaning about some of them, not the genuine falconry fairs, but a lot of falconry at other different kinds of game fairs, not just the game fair, but you know what I mean. There's not much of a following, and this is what it seems to be from my own personal views and a lot of people online. Traders for falconry kit, like all the other trade stands, are paying an exorbitant amount to be there. They don't need to be there. In this modern age of Facebook, social media, websites, they don't need to be there. Most of them having trouble enough making and acquiring enough kit to sell at these fairs because they're busy online anyway. So many don't attend. And then if you're paying, I don't know, 30, 40 quid each to get in, and at least two of you are going, you and your missus, you and your mate, you and your family, it becomes a really expensive day out, because obviously all your food and drink is exorbitant expensive, because those food and drink vendors have paid exorbitant amounts of money to be there too. They've got to get their money back. So to go and see falconry at these sort of places and falconry stuff and look at new kit, you're paying a fortune as a punter to get in. There's hardly any trade stands there. And then some of the trade stands that are there are charging more than they normally do anyway to make their money back. You go to Spain, you go to the Spanish Sky Trials. Whatever you think of Bag Quarry, that's irrelevant to this topic. You go to the Spanish Sky Trials. There are different heats around Spain, and you compete with your birds, your short wings, your long wings, whatever. It's a competition environment. The public can go, any falconers can go. There's little tiny signs around the camper, around the Spanish countryside. Everyone that needs to know knows where it is. You park your car down the roads by the fields and the farms for free. You all take your own food and drink. You all have parties and have everyone round drinking and eating your food before you move on to the next boot, where someone opens up, puts a burner on, cooks some nice stuff. It's all free. There's food and eateries available, genuinely nice food at genuinely good prices. There's a couple of art stands. There's a few people selling falconry equipment, telemetry, all kinds of stuff you'd expect. There's a bar. It's all normal prices. There's no fee to get in whatsoever. It's totally non-commercialised. You watch the people competing, you watch their birds fly, you chat to your mates, you talk to the vendors. You have a really good time of falconers among falconers, and the public can go if they want to. Totally non-commercialised. All about falconry for falconers. That just doesn't happen here in the UK. To a degree it can't happen in many ways, but what I think can happen, can't we do something non-commercialised, something we can all attend and have fun? So that's what this is what I need your feedback. Don't just watch this and don't feedback. If you're a falconer, feedback to me, certainly in the UK. This is what I'm trying to achieve here at Icarus Falconry at Holdenby House. We open every weekend through the summer, from Easter to the end of September. To the public, to anyone, and we put on falconry displays, we do animal encounters, and you can see our British Wildlife Centre, you can see the Falconry Centre, you can partake in the beautiful gardens and a wonderful tea room. Dates to be announced or not, depends on you guys as much as anything. But what about we add another weekend to our open weekends, and we say the first weekend in October. Now, if that clashes terribly with something else, Falconry related, let's try and tweak that. But the weather in October, I'm sitting here now, I've just come to work, I've got to mow the lawns at the centre, it's 17 degrees and it's August. Most October weather is better than this August and the end of July so far. So I think October's feasible weather-wise. This is what I need to know from you guys. If it was 15 quid to get in, is that acceptable? If I could do the trade stands at a sensible price, I'm just bandying figures, this could change. But if I was going to say to you, you've got to bring your own marquee and gazebo, but maybe it'd be about 150 quid each. But you set up your marquee. See, if I don't have the costs, we don't need to pass those costs on to you. Something low key that's just genuine enjoyment for falconers. So how much would you pay to get in? If you're a trader, can you bring your own gazebo to sell your stuff from? Would you do that? How much would you realistically be expecting to pay to make it kind of cheap for you, not expensive? Camping's the big one. I have a site for camping. It's going to cause me problems if I let you guys come and camp, because some of you are too rowdy, some of you can't turn your music down, you know who you are, some of you just can't be polite and considerate. This is in the grounds of a stately home, it's someone's home, they live there. I can't have that. I can't be lashing out for loads of security to keep you in your place while you're pissed up camping, because that negates the whole thing. As soon as we're paying out all this stuff, the price goes up. I don't want that. That's not what it's about. So what about, I want to know, is camping for that weekend going to be really important to you? Can you really not do without sleeping overnight? And if you can't, that's fine. Let me know. I'm thinking, can we do camping close by in a genuine bona fide campsite, off-site, but organise it so that they're prepared at end of season to do a really good deal on camping. So is camping important? What would you pay to get in and feel like you're not being ripped off? What would you pay as a trader if I said you're going to be bringing your own stuff, your own equipment, as in your own shelter? What would you pay to not feel ripped off and to make it worth your while to attend, so we can all see your amazing kit, and the public that come, or rather the falconers that come, have stuff to see? Is electricity important to you guys? Do you have to have it for your marquee if you're selling stuff? The next question I've got for you guys is, it's going to be, I'd like to call it sort of the start of season falconry gathering or something like that, because, beginning of October, traditionally that's the start of the falconry season, really. Yes, I know, if you're grouse hawking, you know what I mean. It's the start of that winter season, even though now, yeah, it's the end of December before the nettles have died down for sure in England. It's just so different now. But it is going to be the start of season. Lots of you are going to have your birds manned. You're going to have new birds. How are we going to get around that? Can you leave your birds at home, or does it mean I can't come, Dave, because we're manning our new birds for the season, or we're manning our old birds ready for the season? How are we going to get around that? Can you leave them at home for the day or not? So do we need a marquee, a secure marquee that's got some of you guys attending it at all times to weather the birds in? But then how many of you are going to hood your birds if they need to? How many of you are going to have your travel boxes? Is it going to be too hot? Because if the public are here as well as other falconers, we don't want to see your birds baiting to the end of their tether because you don't know what you're doing, and they're stressed out because you thought they'd be okay and they're not, and you can't put them in your van because the weather's actually really hot in October sometimes. So have a think about that. Can you come to these sort of things at the beginning of October? How does that impact on the birds you've got up in the air? Can't you just leave them at home for the day? Are you coming for the weekend and you want the bird to be with you? Because again, if I've got to get the marquee, how big's it got to be? How much have I got to divide that into the ticket costs of coming in? Birds on weatherings, have a think. Flying displays. My girls and me can put on flying displays for you, but you've seen it all before. So do we want a couple of flying displays and talks, and then do we want something like a row crow demonstration, something fun, something that many of us don't see? Maybe a quadcopter drone demonstration. What do you want to see in the displays? What do you want to see? Do you want informative talks about stuff, or husbandry, or different ways of how we do stuff here that you can look at housing, and we can look at the pros and cons of my housing, and believe you me, what I've inherited and had to mack and change there's a lot of cons. I can say, look, don't do this. This is really difficult, and so on. Do you want talks where you can come around? What do you want from a proper gathering of falconers? Falconers. I don't know why I keep calling it falconry, and it's always been falconry here in England to me, but it's stuck in my tongue. What do you want? What do you want from it? Because what I want from it is as many of us UK falconers here as possible, having a blooming good time, not whinging and moaning, not having to break the bank to come. And I want possibly at least some of you guys that sell and make equipment to be here. And I want, what do you want from it? Give me some feedback. Do you need a bar? Do we need a bar? Because obviously we've got a lovely tea room. What do you want on the food and drink side of things if you were going to come for the day? What's important? So what I want, if there's going to be more than just us falconers on the public, if there's going to be stands, I want good kit makers. I know people like Graham Forbes will support it if he can, if there's nothing else on, and that's the key. We've got to not clash with something else. That's just silly. What food and drink do you want? What talks and entertainment falconry do you want? What do you want? Because I know one thing we're not going to have oodles of non-falconry stuff. So I'm here at Holdenby. Now, the next stately home, the neighbours really, is Althorpe House. I grew up in Duston. I walked and cycled around all of this area in my childhood. I could walk from my house, my first place I bought, I could walk to the Falconers Fair. So some of you young'uns don't remember, but the Falconry Fair used to be held in Northamptonshire at Althorpe House. It was great. This was all before the internet. It was chock-a-block with stands and kit and clothing and falconry equipment, books. That's what it was about. And you can only get it from there, or you could fill out forms in the back of magazines and send to suppliers twice a year or something and order your stuff. The internet's changed all that. But then towards the end, the last Falconry Fair at Althorpe, it was just tats. Loads of falconry stuff, but fairground stuff, non-falconry stuff. None of us want to see that. To be honest, most of us, if we go to some kind of game fair, we're only going for the falconry. Yeah, we want to see some terriers or some lurchers or some gun dogs working. But we're trying to do something back to that kind of ethos of the original, going back years, decades now, to the Falconers Fair. A fair for falconers, suppliers, us lot to have fun. What do you want from it? Tell me in the comments, for goodness sakes. If you just don't assist me with this, it'll come to nothing. Because although the house side of our open weekends, we're a partnership with the house and the gardens and the tea room, they've asked me, is it something viable? I'm asking you if it's something viable. If you don't feed back to me, then as far as I'm concerned, it can't be viable. I can't put expenditure into something and it doesn't break even. You don't come. Let me know in the comments, for goodness sakes. I know it's a different video. Thanks for watching on the waffle. I'll probably put more in the description. In fact, I will put a description with some bullet points because I'm going to think of 50 other things as soon as I turn this off, turn the camera off. Get behind me on this, guys. Comment in the comments. Or if you're seeing this on Facebook, comment on those falconry pages. Get the chat going. I'm thinking October 2024. What do you think? Let me know.